relatively raising. We were the first crowd-funded brewery in the United States. So we raised $500,000, $1,000 at a time. It took us 18 months, starting in 2016, and we were able to actually make beer in 2017. So we are patient. We got, and the persistence of the grass was a meme that I saw not long ago. We keep growing slow, and we keep growing, and getting cut. So, built in 1946. Welcome. And this is when they used to show adult films at the Ludlow Theater. Raquel Welch in The Oldest Profession. It took us 7 years to get the building. Needless to say, when we started it, this was the building, November 2009. It was a different end of the world. It was GM's going belly up. AIG, Lehman Brothers is sinking quick. What a great time to buy an old dumpy building in Ludlow, Kentucky. So this was the Ludlow Theater, and this was the inside of the space, and it was full of mold in the ceiling and had lead-based paint. It really set the tone of what we were trying to do was building destination. And we had some partners that helped us out, including Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer is our celebrity ringmaster, and here is joining us. He designed not only those tap handles, but took these pictures and designed that poster, and in fact, took this picture of Jerry Springer in our space. And this was before we were selling beer. This was just this idea center that went out of business. And in November 2012, we actually sold our first beer. And for 4 years, we sold other people's beer. So we sold PBR. Here's the first event. It was a death metal show, winter hymn, and it was a hoot. So you have to scroll in. I'll maybe zoom in there, but we sold the PBR tall boy. All right, not a lot of people will drink too many tall boys, but without beer, we couldn't really develop this destination. But we did stand-up comedy. We did circus events. This is a rave, kind of like an EDM show with Michael Menard. She's a DJ from Poland, and that night we sold. We had Smirnoff Ices, Bartles and James, really bad. Like we only had a malt beverage license, so we sold out all the PBR early. But at the end of the night, it was really something else. And I was proving out concept that we to Ludlow, and the goal really again was to sell other people's beer. The margins weren't quite there, and that's why we partnered with many different institutions. This is the Greater Cincinnati Venture Association. And I had never done an event in Kentucky, and I can run my mouth sometimes as a clown, and I say, please join us. Yeah, please, pull right up. I'm Paul.
Rachel.
Nice to see you, Rachel. Pleasure. And nice to see you. Look at these empty glasses. We got some great beer here. Jump on in, try what you like. Give us a moment here. Would you like we have IPA, we've got a really great sour. Stout, coffee stout right here with deeper root. What would you like, Any?
I'm
good for now. So I told the Greater Cincinnati Venture Association, Vance Van Drake was in charge at the time. And I said, Vance, look, have you ever done anything in Kentucky or in Indiana? He said, no, why? Change your name to the Lesser Cincinnati Venture Association, because you can't be the Greater Cincinnati Venture Association and not do an event in Kentucky. So we provided some free beer, and I got Mercedes-Benz of Fort Mitchell to do valet parking. And that was a fun event, really to come out. So this is one of our very first beers, the Showman, and one of Dusty's go-tos. And he's here enjoying it. It was neat because they're in our business model and our business plan. This was actually listed with the security. We were this first reggae filing. We listed the Showman as one of our beers. And it's neat to kind of see it all come to fruition. Our first brewmaster, Sean Greger, he was 21 and 2 months old when he dropped out of college to be our brewer. And the deal with Sean, 1.5 years working with us, learning how to do a lot of welding and working with Ryan on that. And it was really a very collaborative beginning. I was dreaming up these ideas like the Showman owned the land that was in Ludlow before it was Ludlow, but he made all his money showing Egyptian artifacts in London in 1800. So he made all this money in London, was visiting a silver mine that he bought in Mexico, and Cincinnati at the time was the San Francisco. Like in 1800, Cincinnati was where it was at. It was kind of pre-railroad, the riverboats. So His name was William Bullocks, and that is the showman. So Madison Square Garden, and he also performed at Ludlow's Lagoon. So Ludlow's Lagoon was the second largest amusement park in the world. It was actually in Ludlow, Kentucky. And people would come and they would see circus acts, they would see races, and it really ended up saving the Cincinnati streetcar. And it's neat because that's where we are from a heritage space, like in Ludlow, and celebrating the showman, but also Charles Kilpatrick. So, Wikipedia, Bircus Brewing Company, because Charles Kilpatrick has a page, and it's neat to connect the idea that he performed at Madison Square Garden in late 1800s and also in Ludlow, Kentucky. So, we say we've got circus freaks. So, it's a weird time, but when the pandemic hit, we started getting some crowlers. You couldn't get brown glass, white glass. It was like, hey, so Ryan, the team, Sean, they put together, and when the world was shut down, we opened up our theater at like 30% capacity, we were allowed to do that, but then we booked Stacy Q, Two of Hearts. So we booked Stacy Q, and we made a special for Stacy because she used to be in the circus, and we made beer for When in Rome, that band, 80s one-hit wonder. So it was fun because being a small, nimble, having our own camp is something that we've been able to connect the dots between creating a destination brewery and then landing some big national acts because we were able to make them a beer. So that's here's some of the people that help make the beer and the whole experience. And this is our second location. We opened up in November, actually in Covington, Kentucky. So it has a wood-fired oven inside. We have 12. It's on the same block as Hotel Covington, Agave and Rye. It's right across from Braxton Brewing. It's a really hot spot in Covington. And this is our Ludlow original location where we make all the beer. So the laws just changed in Kentucky, which allows us to brew beer in one location, but essentially self-distributed, which is why there's maybe 60 breweries in the 275 loop. 5 are in Kentucky, and there's maybe 60 or 70 because we're here at Esoteric, and they could sell anywhere they want. This is Rick. He delivers our beer trailer and delivers our beers and helps us get stuff set up. And he's one of our original investors as well. These are a bunch of Renaissance fair people, and they show up, they dress like pirates. But every day, every weekend, when we have live music, we add this live circus element. So we were allowed to open before a lot of other breweries work because in Kentucky, that's how the law changed. But then we added the pizza oven, and it's been a great addition to what we're trying to do. We are not profitable yet, but we're putting up some growth numbers to do 278,000 in 2019 and go to 380 in 2020 and hit about 650 in 2021. Through money we're trying to raise right now is really putting a sales team together. We've been able to self-distribute our beer just like they've been able to do in Cincinnati. And in 2023, we hope to relocate the brewing operation. Really great tax consequences when the Bircus Brewing Company moves over to an opportunity zone. So that's kind of the exit strategy. As potential investors, because we do events, sometimes people are like, oh man, I don't want to pay a cover. I'm like, well, we have to pay. And we were able to really bring some of the best in the world to come to Ludlow. But prior to that, we've hosted circus artists from 42 different countries that have come to Ludlow, Kentucky to learn circus, apprentice with circus, and connect the dots. And we've got stand-up comedy coming on Friday. So it's not all circus all the time. It really is a way that we're trying to, build different audience spaces. And it's been great working with the Bluest Big Band, who plays right across the street here often. And at the $5,000 level, we'll throw a party for you at the theater that'll be nuts. So we've done a couple weddings at the space that have been fun, and just kind of those are the perks along with some equity. But 2 years ago, we closed on this building, which is in Ludlow's Opportunity Zone. I was a clown with Ringling Brothers. I was from Florida to Boston to Denver, living on a circus train. And this big building here, it was a propane plant built in 1918. It literally was built to explode. is like a World War I bunker. But the goal here really is to kind of take this circus model and expand our reach, set up our canning line permanently. Every Saturday and Sunday, we do a 2 o'clock circus matinee. Actually, not every Saturday and Sunday, we do a Ludlow Flea. The first, taking an old building, using circus and beer to transform it is what is the next step and what your equity will be going. You'll be a part of the next growth phase by moving to an opportunity zone. Should really help when you exit, should you choose to exit. That's what we do.